Okay, thank you for joining me. We're back and we're going to be talking about the website. So I'm going to go through some of the specifics. Even though you watched Marie Forleo, you're able to go through her process of all the details of what needs to be on the website and the psychology behind why you're going to do all of that. So this is in no way to replace her information. It's vital that you watch her videos, that you do her fun sheets, that you really dive into what and why and how all of the website works. So just as an overview though, I want to link together the website with the relational piece. Okay, so just to review, the website is the first step in our system. It's going to be one of the things you're going to want. It can be done without it, and I can teach you how to do that, and Marie actually will in her last video. It's kind of like how to launch right now without a powerful website. So please hear me on the website. It's not vital that you have a $2,000 website before you can start doing any kind of social media. So just release that belief right now. You could actually build an entire business with nothing but a blog and an opt-in page and a customer relations management system. You don't even need the website, absolutely, but it is going to be a powerful piece. So know that we are starting the process this week of unfolding what that website will look like for you, allowing it to be a place that's powerful. But I don't want you to feel a sense of urgency that it must get rolled out immediately, because it doesn't. In fact, if there's anything you want to spend some time on, it's your website. It's really making sure that it speaks clearly, loudly, beautifully of who you are. Because a website is really a place to collect customer information. There's several things that it's good for. So remember how I said you're going to want, you don't want all your friends to be on Facebook or social media, because we never know where that's going to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now. And you want to own that customer information yourself so that you can market to them, share with them, inform them of anything you want. So this is a great place to collect that information. Otherwise, it gets awkward to just ask for it out in cyberspace. And actually, Facebook will shut you down if they see you trying to gather names and information on Facebook itself. And so this is also a place, so you'll have that little opt-in, and we'll talk about that later. This is also a place where you're going to just, where people are going to come, but they're going to learn about you. So the minute they land, just like when you meet somebody in person, what do they say? You literally have 10 seconds or 2 seconds or something like that to make that first impression. The website's the same way. You literally have a split second to make a first impression, and it's not even 5 seconds. It's not even while they read your blog or read about you. The only reason they're ever even going to click on the About You tab on your website is if something speaks to them about the branding. So we're going to talk in a second in depth about the branding. So here's where they're going to learn about you. They're going to land. They're going to fall in love with you the minute they see whatever it is that you've put out there for yourself, and that's why it has to speak so clearly of you personally. And they're going to start to learn about your product from here, whether that's speaking, whether that's midwifery, whether that's personal fitness training. The other piece they're going to learn about is doTERRA from here. Because while it's not going to necessarily be a big old doTERRA website necessarily, it's going to be a piece that there is going to be a tab of doTERRA or essential oils probably that they click on, and now it lays out your journey with essential oils and with an invitation for them to learn more. So that's going to be how you're going to tie in your doTERRA business and start to grow people from that place. So they're going to learn about you. They're going to learn about your product or products. Maybe you offer more than one thing, your services that you offer, and that's just going to be a piece of that. Now, the website itself can also be a follow-up system in and of itself, because if you have lots of new contacts and they're contacting you on Facebook and you're not having time to send private messages back to everybody, then you must have a website. If your reach is wide enough and expansive enough that lots of people are contacting you at one time, then you need a website, and that website's going to need to lead them exactly where you want them to go. It's going to have to, give that little bit of information of who you are and what your passion is and what your services are, and information about essential oils, and maybe a video, and then it's going to have to link them to something else that then answers their questions and draws them into that system. So the website itself can answer many of the questions that you've been fielding personally out there right now. So find a way to let it do that. The other thing that a website's going to do is let them develop a relationship with you. It goes back to the know, like, and trust piece. A website, they're going to be drawn into it. They're going to want to linger. Your goal is to help them linger on your website. And that's why your target market is so key. If it's too broad, it's not going to cause the people you really want to linger to stay. Everybody's just going to touch and go, touch and go. So you want to really grab hold of the people who are your target market and let them linger and click and watch and read. And they're going to want to stay there for 5, 10, 15 minutes, if not longer, to really start to develop that relationship with you. That's when they're gonna click on the About You page, and they're gonna resonate with your story. Then they're gonna watch a video and they're gonna resonate with that, and then they're gonna be drawn into something else that you're offering on your website, recipes or blogs or posts that you have, and they're gonna be like, oh, I get this person. Oh, this feels like my new best friend. This is what I've been waiting for my whole life. That's the kind of feeling and experience that you want to create with your website. And that is what's going to start that conversation with you, so to speak. That back and forth and, oh, and what about this? Oh, and here's that. And they're really going to be drawn into that. So that's why the About You page is the next most important thing that you're going to create. It's going to be, so your website's going to be branded so it draws them, and once they decide they like you and they want to linger simply based on your outside packaging, so to speak, then the About You page is going to tell your story. And you're going to need to do it concisely without too many details, but with enough details that helps draw them in, who you are. And this is where your why is going to become powerful. This is where Simon Sinek's video on people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And we're going to refer to that here in just a minute. But that is going to be absolutely key. It's going to be where you tell your story and where they really develop a much deeper connection with you. Now from there, they're hooked. They love you. They want more of you. And that's when they're going to click on your blog. The blog page is going to have deeper content, richer thoughts that you have, deeper educational pieces. It's going to have maybe some video. I don't know what all your business is. So that is where you're going to have to then deliver some powerful, staying power content. And there's no pressure in that. The pressure is going to come in the blog is if you don't know your target market. I'll give you my quick story. I started my website long before I should have. I did not do the excavation work. I was all about my picture and, how to get them to doTERRA and, just a little bit about me. So it took agonizing, like 9 or 10 agonizing months of trying to write about me, trying to write about essential oils, trying to write the content about the blog and the pieces that would keep them. Then really, but it was because I did not have my target market. And once you have your target market in mind, then you're able to really dive into what their needs are, which we'll talk about in just a minute. So this is where the other pieces that you're going to want them to have on your website are so it's the About Me, it's the blog. Then you're going to want something about your product. So they're drawn in, they absolutely love you, but the product is where a website becomes monetized. Because you can play at connecting all day long, and you can connect and share and post pictures and story of you blogs, but there's no money in it until you've actually drawn them to a product or a service that you offer. So that is going to be absolutely key there. All right. So I want you to really key into that. And the last piece is that you're going to want the Contact Me page so that it's very easy for them to reach back out to you, not to have to go find you and go. You don't want to just list a website just an email address. You're going to want to have a button where it just says Contact Me, and then another opt-in pops up that basically says, thank you for reaching out to me. I look forward to connecting with you. Put your name and your information down here and maybe the general information, or email me. I look forward to hearing from you. Like whatever that is, it must stay relational. I cannot stress that enough for you guys. So that is a little bit of information on the website, and that's going to be one thing you need to keep in mind, is that it's going to be okay to start small. You don't have to have the big kahuna website right out of the gate. It's okay to start with just those few things: the about me, the blog, the product, the services, and the contact me. You don't have to have lots of light bells and whistles and lots of other tabs and all kinds of other programs you offer. Let yourself off that hook and just get the basic information that people, when they land there, decide if they know you enough to want to start to really like you, and well, actually, if they like you enough to get to know you and really develop trust, a trusting relationship with you. Okay, so from there, that is going to be how you're going to dive into the website. Now, all of the nuts and bolts of how to place things on the website, what kind of language to put where, all those things we're going to talk about in a few minutes when I dive into branding a little bit more, as well as Marie Forleo and what she goes through. Now, the other piece to these other puzzles, which we will get to in the coming weeks, is going to be the follow-up system is going to be next. Now, the follow-up system, you'll remember, is that customer relations management program. And in Marie's extra bonuses and sort of her what do you call them, the resources underneath the piece of her videos and stuff this week, you will be able to see her have a lot of ready-made things for you. One of those things is her list of customer relations follow-up people that offer this. And there's a couple of businesses. I have used one in the past called Constant Contact, and while it was good for a season primarily for emails and it was very easy to use, it was not free. And as I began to expand and grow and want to do opt-ins and all sorts of autoresponders for this and a different autoresponder for that, the limitations of Constant Contact were huge. So I would recommend two that Marie has on hers. One is called MailChimp. You can see hers. That is free up to 2,000 contacts. You're able to create your own customized email templates, upload all of your contacts into there. There's some opt-in forms that you can use, and it's really, really great as you grow. So that would be if you are on a limited budget and you want some really great capabilities to be able to grow with you, probably until you reach about diamond status. I would say MailChimp would be fine for you, maybe even beyond diamond status. You may never have to switch, but that's a long time for you to be able to soak in that. Now, up to beyond 2,000 contacts, it's very minimal cost and fairly easy to use. I didn't think it was as easy as Constant Contact, but because of the great limitations of Constant Contact, if I had it to do over again, I would have chosen MailChimp. The other one is one called Aweber, and most of the people that I've talked to who are web designers, who are into social media marketing, who are heavily into this, prefer Aweber. So you'll just have to do your own due diligence here. I can't really speak to every single one. There is a big kahuna one that I ultimately am reaching for, and that one is called Infusionsoft. It is pricier, but the lights, bells, whistles, capabilities are unbelievable with Infusionsoft. It's the difference between driving a golf cart and driving a Lamborghini. So I hope that puts that in perspective. So if you have an unlimited budget right out of the gate, go for Infusionsoft. If not, start with MailChimp or even Aweber. Okay, so the follow-up system is going to be key. It's going to really be a way that you're just going to organize your contacts, right? Because right now, I don't know about you guys, but I had them written down. I had them on the board, the whiteboard for a while. Then I had them in a notebook. Some of them are on sticky notes. I have some a card file, like a 3x5 card file of customers, and I kept them in sections of, okay, well, these are the hot leads, and okay, now these are the people that I need to contact right now, or these are the people that are cooled off. I'll check back in with those people. It's exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting, and I'll be honest with you, nothing worked for me. And no matter who I asked in the whole doTERRA business, nobody seemed to have a system that was working great for them. However, the fortune is in the follow-up. So if you are not doing some kind of powerful follow-up, you can teach classes all day long. You can work social media all day long. You can create webinars all day long. But if you don't have a way to reach in and maintain that relationship with them, continue to be in front of them, continue to drip, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Remember, we learned sales happen between 5 and 12 interactions. So if you're not able to continue relationship with them, 5 to 12 interactions and ongoing, monthly, bi-monthly, and even daily in some cases, if you do some small little, quote or something daily, that's how they're going to build that relationship with you. Otherwise, you're just that other person out there selling doTERRA. Okay, so the newsletter is another piece that can come from this follow-up system, this template. It's great. It is a great way to reach in and inform, keep your people informed, keep everybody very connected, and just keep yourself present and offering new, relevant, powerful information, but keep it warm and connecting and relational as well. It's a great way, like I just said, to track your leads. You know exactly who are the hot people, who are the warm people, and who are the people who've cooled off that you just need to reach in here and there. The other is that it gets to be very personalized. Whereas, if you're in Gmail or you're in Hotmail, it just looks like an email that comes. And those are a dime a dozen, and people are sick of emails. So if you can use this system to really personalize and brand out your emails that come to people, it's like a little gift that comes in their email box, and they learn to enjoy it and look forward to it. And this has happened for me. I've had people deep in my downline respond to my once a month emails that just says, thank you, this was great information, thank you so much, I have some questions. Well, somebody somewhere wasn't helping them. Somebody somewhere was not reaching into them. They weren't even sure who their downline or their upline was. So this allowed me to close that gap and allowed them to connect with me and me to support them and them to feel part of something instead of just, okay, we signed you up and now you're out there floating around. So imagine if you and then each of your leaders and then each of their leaders and then each of their leaders all had people doing this system, nobody would fall through the cracks. Everybody would feel connected and everybody would find a place that they fit. And that's where your personality is going to come through. The other piece is that this is automated. This is awesome. And this is so key because if you're brand new to doTERRA right now, you're not going to know what I'm talking about because you're looking for anybody and you're trying to pack your schedule with classes and one-on-ones and samples, and you're even wondering what in the world to do all day. But the day will come very soon when you have so much to do that there's not possibly enough hours in the day to get done all that you need to get done and support all the people that need support and to drop samples to all the people that need samples and to answer all the emails that are coming in. That will happen. And when that happens, you either are going to freeze and quit because it's too much and it's too exhausting and it's not authentic to who you are and it's infringing on your family time, or you're going to learn to get it automated quickly. And when you get it automated quickly, you are able to have a steady stream. Okay, these people are new to even the desire for essential oils. Now here's the list of emails that I send them automatically. And they're scheduled so that every 3 days they get the next one. Every 3 days they get the next one. Every 3 days they get the next one. Now the other people this will speak to is new enrollees. Have you guys ever enrolled somebody and all of a sudden you're like, great, yay, they have their kit. Let me know if you need any help. and you're like, I've had numerous people contact me and say, what do I do now? And so that's really key, that you're able to then send them automated emails, a series of 8 to 10 automated emails that will land in their inbox every 4 to 5 days that walk them step by step through a process. You can't do that if you're having to go to that person's house and walk them through that process every single time you sign somebody up or every single time there's somebody new in your downline. This is a warm, wonderful way to support those new people and your new builders. There's people that are new to wanting to grow the business and you can't possibly mentor all of them. So this is a great way to have that piece of them, sort of following up and whatever. Oh, and one last word on the website. I forgot to mention this. This is going to be really key when it comes. The website's going to be powerful because you can actually create a separate website that is just your Team doTERRA website, not where a new prospect would go, but to where once they've signed up and maybe they're builders, Now they have a separate website that they can go to that has all the handouts, all the videos, all the downloads, all the trainings, all the community. Maybe you list out all the members and everybody, maybe there's a forum where they all connect and talk back and forth. There's a Facebook group. So there is a system by which then you're going to be able to make this very automated and allow this follow-up. Now, real quick, a word on social media. Again, we'll talk more about this later. Social media, the whole purpose of social media, and we're talking Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, LinkedIn, like all of the different social media platforms. You don't need to be an expert in all of them, so I want you right now to think where you spend your time and where does your target market spend their time. And if that's Facebook, then that's where you need to focus. My target market primarily spends time on Facebook and Pinterest. And so that's where my focus is. My other focus is YouTube, which, by the way, is the second largest search engine in the world. You must be on some level on YouTube, and we'll talk about that as the weeks go on. So social media is very, very, very key. And what that's doing is helping you reach that larger network. Remember, we said old school marketing allows you your warm market only. That's only your friends and family. We all only have a certain amount of friends and family. So this allows you to get that larger, broader network, attract people outside your regular network. But the beauty behind social media, especially with Facebook and whatnot, is that you are able to reach the network behind the network. That means if you are reaching me, and I have 200 friends, and the average is between 200 and 500 friends. I have 200 friends in my network, and I share something you sent me. Now all of my 200 or 500 friends are going to see that. And if any of those share it, then that's going to a third and fourth and fifth level. And that is how marketing on social media is absolutely key. The other piece on social media is depending on your posts. Now, if you just constantly are sharing other people's stuff, or you're putting really boring stuff on social media, or you're putting very divisive stuff on social media, be aware of that. You want to have your target market in mind on social media. And so you're going to be a magnet to draw those like-minded people. They're going to want to friend you. They're going to want to be part of what you're doing. And so being authentically who you are and not just posting a bunch of doTERRA stuff. We'll talk about this as we get into social media more, that there's kind of a ratio. It's of personal posts to business posts. And you really ultimately want to have a business page versus a personal page. And you want, actually not versus, you really want both, but we're going to talk about the pros and cons to both. So you might go ahead and set up a business page now, even if you don't use it and market it too much right now. We'll get into that in the social media piece. Ultimately, your goal is to create a tribe. It's to create a community of people who are like-minded, again, who love you, who can't wait to see what you post, who are looking forward to the next post, who resonate with the stuff that you post. And as you gather those people are also then going to be linked over to your website, and then you're going to be able to communicate with them through ongoing emails and whatnot. The whole purpose is that people, for social media, this is social, is that people are going to grow to know, like, and trust you. Otherwise, if you're not putting yourself out there on social media with quotes and ideas and funny things your family's doing and what you're doing today, and I don't mean just the highlight reel, I mean your real, true, authentic self, then social media you can just do post after post after post after post, and it can be a real waste of time, and that's not what you want. That's not what you want at all. So the other piece is the team training, and the team support is really going to be very powerful. We'll get into that a lot deeper in this program. But again, we talked about having a separate website for the team. We talked about, this is a platform by which you're going to be able to put on that website things that your team is doing, events where you're speaking, where classes are, online webinars. You're going to be able to have people feel very connected. You're also going to be able to do group training as opposed to one-to-one, person-to-person, piece by piece, exhausting kinds of training. From there, you're going to be able to promote or create. So you could either promote the Hovey's or Lee Shedevy or somebody else's programs that they've already created, kind of like the internship from Essential Oil Revolution, who is our upline. It's all free, so you can then link people to that through your website without having to tell every person. There's a detox. You could do a detox and draw everybody in and get them using a lot more product and boosting volume in that way. So what I really love here is that you can reach into the people who have gotten lost in the shuffle, and we all have those people, because even there's each of us in doTERRA tend to recruit, especially in the beginning, people who we think are sharers and think what we call builders, and in the end they really were glorified users. In the end, they were what we call hobbyists. Okay, so maybe they signed up 2 or 3 people, but that's it. That's not enough for a team. They're not going anywhere, and they're not motivated to do anything. In fact, some of those people might even quit placing their loyalty rewards. And what do you do with all the people that are underneath them now? Well, up until now in my organization, they've gotten lost. They don't get any support. They never hear from anybody. They never know anything. We just trust they keep using oils and placing orders. The beauty of this is that this fills in the gaps from the hobbyists. So if you have somebody who is not supporting a team underneath them, who is not willing to reach out, who said they were initially, but now they're not, or you thought they were and they never agreed to, and now you put people under them, and now here we are. This whole process is going to allow you to reach back in and connect up with those people. All right, so that's it as far as the overview of how the whole system is going to work with the website, the follow-up system, the social media, and the team support. I hope that gives you a bigger picture. And in our next piece, we are going to talk specifically about branding. Deeply emotionally connected branding, and I'm going to walk you through some other websites, and you're going to get to see some other people's websites firsthand and hear my commentary on those. So please join me for the branding video next.